Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hey.
Perfect. I know I'm not like the best at what I do, but I know that I do it at a higher caliber, that I like put myself out there more than anyone else.
I would say that it's not that you're not the best. I think, because I wouldn't say that you're not the best. I would say what makes it dope is, because I used to, like, again, this will be something I'll explain later, but I think that the best interviews come from general conversations.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And not asking the cliche shit like, hey, da da da. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't have it all top, like, depending on who you communicate with.
When Khan said, thank you for not asking me about working with Ye after that shit, like, I felt that because I didn't want to ask him about. Like,
you know what I mean? So
yeah.
That is where a lot of people, I would say, in I guess in this game, struggle or mess up at.
Why didn't you want to do the interview?
I don't like cameras, bruh. I don't like cameras. I'm not here for the social media or things like that. Like, I like being able to connect dots without people knowing.
You're
like
behind the scenes.
I'm that guy that likes to be like, yo, who's that? You know what I'm saying? Like, who's that? Maybe because, like, you know, that's kind of like always been my thing. So it's like if
you never wanted to be.
No, like it's cool if I get noticed. Cool, it's love. But also it'd be like, you know, I'm more always about just kind of playing the back, man. It's always been my thing.
You said you wanted to live in New York and like work in music though. What did you want to be doing? What you're doing now? Like, is that the?
No, that was always the end goal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would say, you know, once because the thing is, I was an artist myself. Terrible. Don't ask me to rap. They've been asking me to rap for some time.
So you were a rapper.
I was a rapper.
So you did want to start
yeah, but I did. But at the same time, the older I got and understood myself, I was like, that ain't really me. And then when I looked at the landscape of what I was battling with, you know what I'm saying? You got to think. At that time, I'm 38, right? So at that time, everybody rapped. So you got multiply that times now. So at that time it was like, all right, well, I'll do it, but like, what's the chance of me getting it? So I started to just look at it like, all right, cool. From there, I started to look at it like, all right, well, I'm gonna do engineering. So at that time I was still living in Buffalo, or I was living in Buffalo, and I, you know, good thing my good friend, he helped me like build a studio and stuff like that. And I started to record a bunch of people through the city. And like, I was like, at that time was like one of the first to have Pro Tools. So like, you having Pro Tools was damn near like having gold. Like, you know what I mean? And so I had a decent quality, so on and so forth. But where I struggled with that, it was no money in it. Because at that time, everybody just wanted to be a homeboy. Like, oh, word, yeah. So, like, I wasn't making no money out of it. So, eventually, that became old. And then I transitioned to, like, where I really made my stake or my position in it. I blogged. I had a blog called Hip Hop Reviews for Dummies that turned into HHRFD. And then that's where I built a lot of my relationships.
Oh, so you were reviewing?
Yeah. So when I was doing it at that time, obviously, like, it's kind of blurred. The year, I would say it probably was like, I started at like 2009, 2010. And I just did it. And at that time,
to do it.
Just to do it, because I seen like the transition. I've always been like up on music. But like, it was never like no like hip hop blog in Buffalo. Like, at that time, I think it was a site called like Non-Right, Rap Radar. Like, those were really starting to pop and shit. So I was like, man, Buffalo need their own. So I kind of was like doing it that way. And one of my first interviews was with Big Crit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like from there, I kind of was like, this is what I wanted to do. But that was like my end goal was to be like, all right, I want to become an A&R. Because like, I've always been into music. I always was kind of on the curve of like the latest stuff or the latest shit or whatever. And then I transitioned to that, to going.
Did you like the writing reviews and interviewing?
Hell no. Like, see, the thing is, that's where people get it confused. Like, I did it because I didn't go to college. I didn't like school enough. So it was like, man, I got to figure out my cheat code. My cheat code is something. I got to figure this shit out. Yeah. So at that time, the internet was starting to become a thing where, you know, the labels became lazy, where they were kind of like just going to the internet and finding, oh, this dude's getting posted or this dude's getting supported. So I was like, all right, I need my way in. So with my blogs, obviously it wasn't no top tier, but I started to get a couple like.
You interviewed Big Crit.
No, I trust me. I've interviewed a few people from it, but
I'm gonna. Are they like you read them or you have them?
No, they videos. So
I'm definitely.
Videos.
I'm gonna watch those.
I interviewed Big Crit, Pusha T, Yo Gotti, Nelly, Shaggy. I was in a group session with the Big Sean. I don't know. It just
so these dudes knew like.
Yeah, like
that's so funny.
So like when I was doing it again, this is my cheat code. This is like I knew I didn't want to rap, and at that time I was so away from recording. Like, yo, I'm not doing this shit. Like, this shit is not what I want to do. Like, I like it, but I don't love it enough to be like I want to sit around and just hear this all day.
Yeah.
So, you know, try to make this fast. From there,
you don't have to make it fast. You can tell the whole story.
Nah, so from there, you know, at that time, I was doing that, and it was just like I was bumping my head because it was like obviously I was in Buffalo still, trying to like connect the dots. You get what I'm saying?
Buffalo.
In Buffalo. So like, you know, when I interviewed, I was trying to interview Wiz, but in the Big Sean they're doing, they did it at UB Fall Fest or Spring Fest, one of the two. I did that one, and I was just trying to figure it out. Like, damn, man, like, ain't a lot of music coming to Buffalo or, like, concerts like that magnitude. I'm just trying to figure out my next move. But at this time, I started to build a relationship with this guy. At the time, he worked in the promotional department at Def Jam, Steve Carlos. And then his homeboy, Young Sav, which both are heavyweights in the industry.
Yeah,
right
I know
now.
Young Sav. Yeah.
Very, very, very good dude. So, like, from there, I would just hit them up just on some conversation shit, like, yo, da-da-da, you know what I'm saying? Like, da-da-da. So we, you know, we kicked it or whatever. And it, like, they was the ones that really would, like, reach out to me after a while to, like, you know, kind of just see, like, what the temperature was and things of that nature, send me music, what artists they were supporting and things of that nature. And eventually I stopped doing that. It just became like I was standing still. So I left Buffalo and moved to Missouri, which, let's just say it was probably the worst decision, but also it was the best decision.
Less rap even.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, I was 2 hours away from St. Louis. Mm-hmm. So I was in a college town. So that being said, everything was shut down damn near by 12 o'clock at night. Nothing going on, jobs and shit. I was working a regular job at that time. So, you know, I did that. Then I finally got the opportunity to move to New York City. And, you know, from there, I obviously did the hustle and bustle. Like I was explaining off camera, I worked at Delta, but before then, I met, which I would call like kind of my mentor, is my homeboy, Andre Howard. He worked in the video department at Republic, which was, it was interesting because I was passing through the label. I was interviewing this kid at Def Jam at the time. Dude named, I think, B. Smith. Don't quote me, but B. Smith. And I had on this Techno Bowl shirt that had a Buffalo Bills helmet on it. He was like, yo, what you know about that? I'm like, what you mean? I'm from Eastside Buffalo or whatever. And he was like, yo, I'm from the town too. So from there, he was kind of like someone that always like looked out for me. Like when I got like where I was in the game, or like once I started to live in New York City. So, you know, he always invited me places or like send me like drops and things. So like at that point, the things I was struggling with in Buffalo was I would get invites to like listening parties, but I'm 8 hours away, and them shits wasn't announced like, you know, let's say Saturday. Like you'd be like, all right, well shit, Saturday, Big Crit listening party. No, you would find out 3 hours before it was going on. So it was like, and I was not in the position to be like, all right, I'm about to buy a flight and I'm just gonna fly out there.
Yeah.
No, it would be like last minute. So like I'm getting emails at 5 o'clock. Like, damn man, I wish I could go. Damn. So at this point, I'm going to, I think probably at that moment, probably the craziest listening event I went to was The Weeknd and Pusha T at the time. And it was just like, yo, I knew I wanted, you know what I'm saying? I knew where I wanted to go. It was just trying to figure out how to connect the dots. Because at this point, I'm completely removed from recording.
And they just saw the hunger in you that you wanted.
Yeah,
to.
like let's be honest. Like Dre, for instance, Dre was exactly that. He just seen that, all right, yo, you from the town. I see where you trying to go with it. Yo, however I can help, I can help. You get what I mean? And then I started to build my relationships inside the labels and things of that nature. But the thing that I guess hindered me with that is I still was working a regular job. So after a while, it was like, man, I'm stuck with choosing work or going to this event. But, it was just like, damn. So after a while, I started to see my blog wasn't getting like reach outs and things like that. And I was just trying to figure it out. And I was probably doing that for like 2-3 years. And then I kind of got an ultimatum where it was like, yo, bro, you need to figure it out. What, I'm 38 now, so I was, let's just say for conversation purposes, 34, 35. And I'm like, so I did what I would call a Hail Mary. You get what I mean? Like, and I don't know if they want me to say this, but like, so Benny at the time needed an assistant. And it was like, reach out to this email. Fast forward, the person that was on the other line was actually Jake. So I emailed the shit. He's like, yo, bruh, I want to talk to you, da-da-da-da. So, but was so crazy. I want to say maybe like 2 days prior or around. It was around that same time. I DM Khan like, yo, I see that you need assistance, man. Like, I want to help somehow, some way. Like, I could record, I could do this, I could do that, I could da-da-da-da. He didn't actually dub me, but it was actually like on some, like, add the emotion on Instagram. And I'm like, okay. So like from there, I get on the phone with Jake. Jake tells me like a list of things that he wanted me to do. I knocked it out, whatever. But before I know it, he wasn't telling me, like, he wasn't saying if I got the internship or the position, whatever. He was just sending me shit like, yo, do this real quick. Oh yeah, do this real quick. Before I knew it, I'm like, bro, like, what's going on? Like, like you asked me to do a bunch of stuff, which I wasn't tripping because it was like, it's finally getting me in the position where I wanted to be, right?
You made the Hail Mary.
I made the Hail Mary. The ball was caught at that point. So from there, I would say, without going too in depth with it, for like, I want to say like 4 or 5 months, I was Jake assistant, almost a year, and just to give you an idea, it was around the release of Plugs I met. So
and you had just come from working a full-time job.
I was but I was still working a full-time job. So here's the thing. So I'm working with Jake and shit. Jake asked me all this and, hey, can you show up to this show? Can you show up to this show? I was working a full-time job. But the beautiful thing about when I was working at Delta is I could change shifts. So like, say Jake hit me at midnight, like, yo, I need you at this show at 5 p.m. I could hit somebody like, yo, can you take my shift? And then because I had such a decent relationship with my managers and stuff, I could do like last minute calls like, yo, this person gonna work for me instead because da-da-da-da. And then I will fly to wherever it is.
To do just an internship.
Just to do an internship. Because like, one of the craziest things about it, because even when I started to do things with Jake, Jake will always be like, yo, this ain't paid. Like, but I happened to be helping my boy at this time, and I had this graphic guy that I was dealing with already on retainer. So I was already paying him to do work for me anyway. I'm like, bro, man, tripping about that? Like, this is an opportunity. I ain't going to tell you I don't do graphics. Like, we'll worry about that later. I just need to, see what goes from it. So whatever, I would go to all these shows, like, and then eventually to the point that I went from full time to part time, and I would go from full time to part time, and when I went from full time to part time, the first Griselda tour started. What Was She Gonna Do came about, and it was right before COVID. At this point, I'm with Conway all the time, pretty much full time. And me and him was out.
Wait, how did you get from working with Jake to Con?
So without going too far into it, let's just say we built a relationship at that point.
You and Con?
Me and Conway, I started to help on the Freddie Gibbs tour. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I would assist there, so on and so forth. And we did, eventually just started to like click. And then he would ask me like once the tour was over, like, yo, can you jive, come with me out to Art Basel? And I'm like, I'm cool with it. So, from there, that's when, eventually, I pretty much was like, let go from what I was doing with Jake and them. It's all love. It's nothing like that. Yeah. But it was eventually I just separated from being his assistant to, at that time, I was really Conway's assistant, like with him and doing, like I said, from, I want to say it was like 19. Whenever What Was She Gonna Do came out, I'm not sure of the date, so we'll just have to look at that date. But from that point, I remember from Cruiserweight Coke video, the shooting of that video on down, I was pretty much with Conway all the time. And we did the Griselda tour together, and it was right before COVID kicked off, where when it got bad. We were actually out in LA shooting what's this shit that him and for the Google album with him and Alchemist when he got the body in the trunk?
Oh, what's that video? That's not the one with Schoolboy.
Nah, it was is that Calvin?
Yeah, I think it is Calvin.
You can remove this, but my point is we were shooting a video for that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We were shooting a video for that. And at this point, like, everything is shutting down. Like, we getting calls like, yo, bro, like, if you ain't flying back today, you might not make it back. So at that point, me and Con, like, at this time, I was still living in New York City. Me and Con was like kind of going our separate ways. Like, all right, cool, I'll connect with you. I was at home at that point. So at that point, I was kind of just deciding if I wanted to go back to work. Like, I was able to get some more additional time off because I was on the road with them. I made up an excuse or whatever. Like, bro, I got some personal stuff going on. They're like, all right, cool. COVID's coming up. Like, just pay attention, remove yourself, and you'll be able to get the time off and shit. So after that, so I was at home really just trying to figure out my next move because I'm like, damn, I'm really like in a great spot. I was helping Con do a few. They were promoting the Lulu album, so I was helping him set up his phone calls, and I would talk to the PR guy like, yo, you got this call at this time, you got this going on at this time, and we were doing that. So after that was going, I went kind of low cause trying to figure out what I wanted to do. Because our relationship wasn't like best friends at that point. You get what I mean? Like, I didn't want to be like the overzealous kid trying to be around you 24/7. So it was like, I ain't gonna lie, it probably went like.
That's funny, overzealous kid being there 24/7. You're like 30. You're like 36 working a full. Like,
but you get what I mean? Like,
I
so it's like at that point, it was just like, bro, like it's cool, but like I just didn't want to be like. The one thing about me is like a happy medium. I don't try to do too much, but I don't also like you know what I'm saying? Like you get what I mean? You do just enough. Like know that I'm here, but
you pop out enough, but you don't. Yeah,
you get what I'm saying? Over welcome my stay and shit. So it was funny. Like, again, I didn't kind from hole in the wall. Like, so like it was learning his body or understanding him. You know what I'm saying? So I forgot, it was clear as day. I think it was like on a Saturday. He sent me a text like, yo, like, it was weird because we would always have like little small talk during this time. You like, shit, you working? I'm like, what you mean? So at that point, I was doing different things because he told me he was working on a tape at that time, and it was called obviously out now, but it was called From King to a God. So I was doing shit on my side, but just how I work is just like, I don't like talking about everything. I like to just deliver it and then tell you like my reasoning behind it or the logic behind it. And he like, shit, like I ain't know what was going on, like da 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 da. But so at this time, I'm like, damn. So he kind of like gave me like, yo, if you're gonna be working, you gotta be like, we gotta rap. Like we gotta be on the phone. We gotta this, that, and third. Especially since you don't live here, I need, you know what I'm saying? If we gonna be doing this is how we gotta stay at it. So again, I was at the crib just chilling. Like I said, I think it was like a Saturday. Maybe it might have been like a Sunday or whatever. Like, and he was just like, well, shit, what's good? I'm like, shit. I mean, I can jive fly down now. Like, what you doing? Like, and I'm going down there just to think, like, we gonna kick it or whatever, da da da. So at the time, like I said, I was still at Delta, so I just looked at the flights. I was like, shit, I can be there at this time. So whatever. I pack only like one or two things as if like I'm about to just, go there for a day or two and then come back. Long story short, I was there, I want to say damn near from like April to almost like halfway through May. And during that time, we was working on From King to a God. Like, because he always bust my balls, like, pause just in case. And he like watches this. That's in the pause community.
Pause. Yo, people are wild with the pause now.
So
people are wild with that.
So we was he like shit. You could record. Yeah, I was like, I don't do it now, but yeah, I got a certificate. I'm decent with it. So I want to say we recorded. I'm about 90% sure. It was outside. It was front lines because it was right after the whole George Floyd shit, and that was one of the first songs that we recorded. And then from there,
you recorded that?
I recorded that, Lemon. Juvenile Hell.
This is shit you wouldn't even know, right? My mind's blown right now.
From King. Jesus Crisis. Like, damn near, like, he recorded a lot because he bought the equipment. But it was, like, the one thing about Khan, like, he gets in the zone and he just want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one thing I applaud about the nigga. When he in his zone, that's what he, like yo, just don't worry about it. Just hit record. I got everything else. So, at that point, it was just like an everyday thing. Like obviously it was some time where we would just be kind of twiddling our thumbs, but like it would literally be like a full-time shift. I would pull up at his house at like 11 a.m. and cook to like 12 every day. And like I said, I honestly came with probably like two pair of clothes to like, because the thing is, my mind was only coming there to just kick it for a good day.
Why'd you stay? I
stayed because it was like, shit, like, this is another part of my opportunity. What am I running home for? You know what I'm saying? Like what now here's the kicker, like, just to take it a step back. So me and my homeboy, Travell, we always used to talk about Griselda once they got like where they are, right? And I always, like, me and him used to always talk about music. I'm like, bro, if anybody from Buffalo ever make it, I'm gonna be a part of it, right? Obviously, everybody says stuff like that in their life, right? And eventually, I was just like, yo, if I get a part of that, like the Griselda shit, I want to work with Conway. So why? Because he connected to me a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always felt like he was misunderstood, outsider, kind of a loner type of thing. Now, I could be wrong about all these things, but that was always my take on it. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, it's something that's connected me with Conway. He would probably say I'm just a real nigga. You know what I'm saying? That was something that always connected to me. So from there, I just stayed because I'm like, bro, this is an opportunity that I'm really trying to be a part of. Like, there's no reason that I'm running home. Like, I was on COVID leave at work. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I was like, shoot, I'm going to stay. But, eventually I forgot what happened. We were supposed to do like a video shoot or something. So I ended up going back to the house, get some more clothes. But then when I did that, I was gone for another 3-4 weeks. And then eventually we just did that over and over and over. And eventually once we got to like the later part of From King to a God, we were out west and we purchased a traveling studio at that point. So we was cooking, like Juvenile Hell was cooked in the Airbnb. Fucking From King was recorded in the Airbnb. Anza was recorded in a hotel name. Just so you get what I'm saying? It was things of that nature. You get what I mean? Like, so it was just on the fly. It was a dude that happened to shoot the same that shot Reject 2 cover, shot From King cover.
Oh, really?
I mean, From King to a God cover. Like, one thing that's why I will say about him, we didn't give him, I guess you could say, just due or the credit for it, but it was only because somebody else manipulated the cover. You get what I'm saying? He shot it, but it was another guy that actually designed, put the crown on and so on and so forth. But
you stayed hungry for a long time.
I'm still hungry now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's how do you? Yeah,
I'm still hungry.
That's the only thing I wanted to ask you about. I don't think I see anyone work harder, and I don't mean stressed in a bad way, but just like the amount you have to handle is crazy. Like how do you stay hungry? Like
the thing is because I knew I know how far I came, and I know where I want to go. You know what I'm saying? Like my want is to be executive. Granted, I am not with Drumwork. You know what I'm saying? That's the beauty of it. But I want to be. You know what I'm saying? I want to see that being successful. But I want to be successful at one of these entities or these corporate labels per se, while also pursuing that. So like I'm hungry for that. Like I'm a kid from Buffalo, New York, bro. like it mind boggles me that like some of the people that I know in this game and they're like, oh yeah, you Chad, da da da. Like it mind boggles me because it's like I look up to those individuals. You get what I'm saying? Like so that's what keeps me hungry. Like I know it's so much more for me to do. Like granted, I've made a couple bucks, but I'm not. I can't buy my mama a house with that. You get what I mean? Or like set my nephew or nieces
right,
up.
but that's not even the main part of it. It's no matter what, no matter if you had a job, no matter if you're moving, no matter what you were doing, like to stick with it. A lot of people don't do that.
Well, it's because that's all I knew. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what you envisioned as a kid, what you wanted to be. Like, I've always been a kid, like, I want to be involved in music. There's no if and but. I didn't want to be a basketball player. I didn't want to be a doctor. I didn't want to be whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? If I lived being, let's say, working as a detailer at a car dealership, so be it. But if at least I can put my hat down at the end of the day, like, I strived and tried to become what I wanted to become. So, like, a lot of people can't say that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people could say, like, oh, well, I went to school and I did this, but is that what you wanted to do? You know what I'm saying? And I think that's how I really look at my whole situation in the story, because, like, not many people could say that. You know what I mean?
A lot of people have great ideas, but not a lot of people execute.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what we were talking about from the beginning, and that's why, like, man, I want to keep cutting you off to be like, me too. I get it too, because it's like, yeah, there's no other option. Like,
but that's the thing with me. It was no other option.
But it's a mentality thing.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is I hated school. So that was one. And I always think, you know what the other thing is because I was always told, well, you got to do it this way. You can't do it this way. You could do it that way. You get what I mean? And like, that was probably really what really pushed me to be like, all right, you say I can't do it this way, but I'm going to show you why I can do it this way. You get what I mean? Because I was always, a lot of the obstacle courses that I was dealing with when I was coming up was, you need a certificate or a diploma to get an internship, because I wanted an internship at a label, but I will always run into that. Like, oh, did you go to school? Da, 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 da. So eventually it was like, bro, like, what we doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I eventually go, because I ended up going to school for audio engineering. I went to school for a year and a half and pursued that. Because I was like, again, that was my cheat code to help my story.
Well, then look, and you are recording music.
This is what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, but that was the point. That was where my vision was, because it was like, yo, bro, if this is what I'm gonna do. I ain't taking no for an option. You get what I mean? Like, people know me. I don't talk. I don't read. You know what I'm saying? But like, that was my view on that.
Why? That's so. Did that mentality come over time? I'm just gonna do it and not say shit? Because you started out interviewing, like you started out on camera, like that's why I asked you. Like,
I don't know, like I can't really say what was it. You know what I'm saying? But I knew that, bro. You can ask my brother, you can ask my sister, you can ask my mom. Like that's always been my end all be all. Like, bro, I'm gonna do music.
Yeah.
This episode is sponsored by dope rapper and good homie of mine, Fast Life Wooly, out of Philly, Pennsylvania. He actually just dropped his debut project, John the Baptist, which has some dope tracks produced by like Camouflage Monk, Nomps, some dope artists. There's 13 tracks on it. He has visuals from people like New Vegas Films, and it's really just a project worth checking out. Huey P. Art did the album cover too. You can find it wherever you go to get your music, and you can find out more about Fast Life Wooly at fastlifewoollyofficial.com. Let's get back into it. Look who it is. Look who popped in. Shout out Made in New York. The episode that'll never get released.
In the vote.
It's somewhere in there. 3 hours of us speaking nonsense. But you do stay low key and you do stay to yourself.
Yeah, because it's like, again, I think mainly it's because I just know I have so much more to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I've done a decent amount, and I've done a lot that I'm happy at. Like when I have conversations like this, or like conversations with like my peers and shit like that, it's mind blowing to say like some of the things that I've done in the period of time. But like shit, I got a ton more to do.
Because everything that happens, it's like, all right, what's next?
Exactly. That's how I look at it. Like I don't fester on it. I just be like, oh, word, we did that? All right, what's
I may be tappy for 2 hours about the thing, and then I'm like, shit, I have to top that.
I have to top that. Because the fact of the matter is, it's no different, than it's only good.
When are you ever going to stop? Like, that means you peak. Not you. I'm saying people who don't think that way, they just peak at some point.
They peak at some point. I think with me is just that, I don't know, man. Like, because the thing is, obviously, it's the financial game, but I guess that's just like, again, it's for the people that be like, nah, you can't do it this way. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm fighting for, to be like, damn, this man has went from, Little Buffalo. I was a kid that went to school at North Park Middle Academy. Sweet home, graduate. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are all things that, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, when you look at my small town, it was like, so, like, even just say the Griselda story, it was dope to be even a part of that. Like, to even think, like, the first dudes that ever broke it on this level. You know what I mean? Like that. Yeah. So it was like that. So what keeps me going is just like, man, I just know I have a ton more to do. I have a ton more to do that, and it's like, I don't have the perfect answer to it. You know what I'm saying? But I just know that it's more out there to accomplish.
I think that I want to figure out from people what that is, but I think it is just something that you either have.
I would say, if anything, let's just to put it on the table. Khan was who he was before me, right? But I've been involved with Love and Skis, so those, if anything, are in.
So you knew them beforehand?
Love and Skis? Yeah. No, I didn't know Conway from Hole in the Wall. I didn't know Love and Skis from Hole in the Wall. I didn't know Made in New York from Hole in the Wall. You get what I'm saying? But like my want is for them to be just as successful as Conway. Like, so that is what I'm really striving for at this point, because Con is on cruise control. not saying it like that. He has room to grow and so on and so forth. But like, you know, he's definitely gonna be fine. Like that's something he always preaches.
But I don't think trust me, I don't know him like you do, but from the conversation I had or from just talking to Benny 2 days ago, like they still have that mentality of they're still like trying to prove it. You've proved yourself already.
True, but it's like I would say what I'm saying about them, or like he's already a known name,
right? But I'm talking about the thing within.
That's I think that's really probably a Buffalo thing. Like we fight because it's like we're always gotta prove ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like so I could be wrong about how I look at it, but it's just a thing that we have within us. Is like shit, like there's so much more out there to do. Like especially when you look at the people before you. You know what I'm saying? It's like if they're competing or looking at like the hoes of the world, hell yeah, they got a ton to do. You know what I'm saying? They're known and not knocking any of their success. Like these dudes is out this world, but they're on a level of, you know, they're just getting started. If we're really looking at it as how the industry goes, like shit, like, you know, they're just getting the radio love or the commercial success that, you know.
And that is I guess the Buffalo thing, because no matter how long it takes, you just do it. Like I've said it a few times on the podcast, but that release party for God Don't Make Mistakes was also Conway's 40th birthday party.
100%.
And that's his debut album on a major label.
100%.
Like that's, if you're not gonna put in that much effort, then like
you get what I'm saying. Like but you understand it. Like just think, this man has. You know, I know just off I've been around at least, you know, 4 solid bodies of work, right? We have, again, I'm just talking about when I came around. Look what I became from King to a God, La Macchia, and then God Don't Make Mistakes. And not mentioning the Big Ghost, not mentioning Everybody's
the
Fool,
mixtapes,
the black tapes, not mentioning anything else.
Greetings, Earthling.
Like, you get what I mean? But no, I get.
No,
but I'm just saying in general. This is like, so it's like to think. All right, you are 40 and you just really arrived. Like a lot of people are just hearing about Conway for the first time, which is like mind blowing when you even think about it.
Yeah.
But I think that's what it is. It's just like one thing I think, you know, he's kind of instilled in me is just like, yo, we still got more work. We still got shit to prove. We still got it. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like, I guess, one of my things I gained from him.
And now it makes sense why you guys work so well together.
Yeah, because it's like, yo, you feel we got to, because we both feel like we got to.
He's going to put in the work and you're just going to do it.
Yeah, I could complain, but it's like at the end of the day, I'm glad, like, I get him. Like after all this time, I get him. You know what I'm saying? Because it used to be like, I don't understand like what is going on, but it's like it really just trains you to be like, man, it's more to do. Like,
and you can put on for Buffalo.
Exactly.
Do you get like shit interviewing people? Like, do you get starstruck anymore? Like, do you get?
I never got like that's a crazy. That's a crazy thing. I never got, because the thing is, I just always viewed them as like just regular people. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, yeah, they're regular people, but it was like, man, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's one thing I applauded you in your interviews. Like when I was still doing interviews myself, I would approach it as a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not trying to ask you what the tabloid, and if I do, I'm not trying to ask it in the corny or the cliche way of asking. I'm just asking you because I'm generally a fan of what it is that. Whatever that tabloid said, especially if it's a new topic or something that never been talked about. But that I've just always looked at it like that, man. Like, shit, let's just shoot the shit.
But that's why I want to talk to you, is because I started interviewing for a completely different reason than you did, even though it's basically the same thing. But I hope someone listens to this and maybe is like, if you stick with it and no matter what, you take those chances. And you said a lot of this shit happens randomly, which it is. Like, when you force shit, it never works.
Yeah, it kind of doesn't go the direction that you want it to go.
But if you just let things happen the way you do.
Yeah. No, it's true, because
like going to hip hop karaoke and doing the podcast afterwards.
My point, because like you could have, like, let's just say the average person probably would have took like my choppy response and not really getting much information. Like, yo, dog, I'm about to go Boston, man. I ain't got this to do. I'll figure it out later. I'll do it another time. Obviously, it's the course. But you sticking it out and like, all right, well, I know there's a reason they invited me here. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's a reason they invited me here. All right, I pull up. Pull up will get you a lot of things that a lot of people, sometimes ask too many questions and talk themselves out of. You know what I'm saying? So this industry is really about just being flexible and being willing to, just roll with the punches.
And just being chill.
Just being chill, because being too excited to get you, kind of knocked out of a lot of situations or not mess with just because it's like, yo, dog, he too excited, or you get what I mean? Also,
something I didn't even realize is when I get to the level of busyness I'm at, I can't imagine the level of business like you guys are at. Jay sat me down one day and showed me Khan's tour schedule when he was going from Europe to the tour starting that. And that really, like, tell me that didn't kickstart some shit in me where I was like, damn it, I'm not even busy. Like, we all have the same 24 hours in the day.
Like, dog, like, and that be the thing. Like, I'm thankful for my dog, OJ. And the homies that are around now, because there was a time when nobody was around. You know what I'm saying? Like, when me and Khan first started rocking, I literally was, the first person he seen probably in the day and the last person he seen in the day.
And people probably thought he had a team.
Yeah, like, it was literally, so it was like, we would pull up to these venues, and this is, it's nothing to brag about, before we had security. So we would literally be me and him and probably his brother Goose. You know what I mean? We'll show up somewhere and be out of town, and it'd just be us three. You get what I mean?
And people think you have a whole...
we had a whole, entourage.
People probably think now that you guys are not, that you're, or Jawad, or whoever's driving a car to the next venue overnight, because that's what you have to do.
And that's just
holding on a cough that whole time. But no, like, it's not like you have a tour bus with a driver. You get to relax.
No, don't get me wrong. We've came away. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong. He doesn't have like two tour buses.
I'm not saying he's struggling.
No. I'm not saying either. But at the same time, it's to the point now where, like, he'll have a Sprinter, and then let's just say, his security and so on and so forth is obviously traveling whatever vehicle he's in. And then we'll have one other vehicle. You get what I'm saying? But it's to the point we're able to do like that. But at a time, bro, we should just be, you know what I'm saying? Like, really him and me. Man, we would, like, figure it out. But like I said, my hat goes off to, like, we linked with OJ, I want to say damn near about a year and a half ago or some shit like that.
And his story's inspiring in the same way that yours was, that he was working at the sanitation of, like, doing shit like... That's what people don't realize, is if you dedicate a year. I'm saying a single year, and Rome said this on the podcast, do one thing for your career, not your job, your career. What you want to do one thing a day for a year, and you'll be so surprised.
No, it's no different than, like Milton, our security guard. Like, I've been trying to get back to working out again because I was a little bit smaller when I first came around.
Oh, I've gained like 50 pounds. It's
don't even get started about COVID. COVID kicked my ass. But long story short, he's just like consistency. And that's no different than anything you do in life.
Anything.
So if you choose to, rap every day, you're eventually going to get better from point A to point B. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's really...
But you have to find the thing that you are happy being consistent.
And that's one thing I would say, anybody that wants to get in this business, find what you are cool with, or not even this business, just in business in general. It could be music business, it could be fashion business, it could be food business, whatever it is. Find whatever it speaks to you, and home on that.
And that the bullshit doesn't matter.
The bullshit.
People want to have the podcast so bad, but they don't want to do the waiting or the schedule changing or having 6 podcasts cancel in the last 2 days.
But also, they don't want to do Thomas down the street, interview him. You just want to come out the gate and get, the Conways of the world.
But that's why you do have to find something, because I really do love, like, you can't just bullshit anything. You can't. You wouldn't be able to bullshit what you do.
No. I mean, you could to a point, but...
You would have a gun in your mouth in the bathroom crying.
Trust me. Pause. the president of pause is here. but no, for real, like if that, but also that goes to the point of having a goal in mind, what you're doing it for. Like, man, bro, the first year, 2 years was so difficult. Like, again, I didn't grow up with Conway. You know what I'm saying? So that's the part, like, so understanding him as a person, understanding, like, you know, certain things.
Shout out Struggle Mike and other guys coming in.
So, you know, there's certain things that I just got, you know, you just got to have thick skin and just roll with the punches and figuring it out. And it's a always revolving door that's going to change. But once you get to the point where it's like, all right, cool, it's on cruise control, then you could be like, all right, this is what it was.
So how many years have you been grinding, would you say?
Dog, I'm 38. I've been pursuing music since I was like 16. Probably before then. But really took it serious like 16, 18. So
that's the time you have to put in.
No, but at the same time, again, that's the difference. Like, where, you know, we even look at, again, I would say from COVID until now is really when, like, because I came to a point, I was at on leave with my job, and eventually, you know, we was right about to go on the first American tour, and he was like, he didn't say it to me, but I kind of was like, I can't go back to work, because if I do, I'm pretty much handing him what I built up at this point.
Yeah.
So eventually, I just was like, you know what? I had to go back to the port to get my port ID. They give you like these IDs to work in there. And I was just like, you know what? I ain't even gonna bother, because I was gonna try to make up an elaborate excuse or whatever to try to get it worked out. And I was like, you know what? It's gonna work itself out. So from there, you know, I did the tour. 3 tours later, 4 tours later, it's like, I'm not tripping. You know what I'm saying? I one thing I pride myself in is I helped him get out God Don't Make Mistakes. God Don't Make Mistakes. I was around for almost 3-4 years. He was working on that album at least easily 2.5 years worth of it, to the point where I remember it, building it up, tearing it down, building it up, tearing it down. I heard that. I could tell you, like, you know, all the songs that was taken off of that. Same thing with from King to a God. Watch it build up, tear it down. So, you know.
But just how you grinded 22 years, an album like that doesn't come out in the first try.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So, like, and I know where I heard it at it was probably tore down at least 4-5 times prior to that. You get what I'm saying? Lucky was on board helping with that. And, you know, things of that nature. So, like, and that was before I was even in the picture. So, you know, like, once I got into the picture, it was like, that was just something that I was like, man, I told him, like, bro, we getting this album out. Like, don't worry about it. And this is before he kind of allowed me to just flourish and do my thing and start speaking to the label and try to build that relationship, because that relationship was kind of always, you know, kind of whatever. And let's just say you was at the listening party, now the album out. So I'm definitely happy with that.
Yeah. And you deserve to be, and congratulations, and thank you for that, because honestly, I know how much that probably means to you, because that's the only thing I've ever heard you say, like, your accomplishment. Because that's a real thing. That album was announced, 5 years before it dropped?
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think if he watches this, he might correct me, but I want to say GOAT was originally supposed to be his Shady, but I could be wrong. Now, don't quote me, but that changed to coming out to being God Don't Make Mistakes, and then God, like I know all the Skeleton tracks. I've heard, you know, some of the records that was removed, and some of the records we removed. You get what I'm saying? So, like, to even say, like, damn, I recorded I recorded a few of those off of that too. So it's just a big accomplishment for me because that was like one of the albums that I can go to the title and see. Oh shit, my name is. You know what I'm saying?
And go back to when you're 16 and.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I did all this just because it was always something that I wanted to accomplish. Like that was my goal I wanted to get to. So now it's like I said, to get to where the point we were talking about is I want to break Love and Skis to that point. Because again, Conway is who he is. He was that before me. So like, and because we built Drumwork together, obviously that's his baby. Getting Love and Skis to the point where they're respected in their career and their craft. That's, to answer your question, that's what I'm striving to work towards. And, Goose and Shots, whoever is under the Drumwork umbrella, that's where my mind is at, of getting them to the level of a Conway. Even if it's not a level of a Conway, to the point that they can navigate their own career.
Is it hard wanting to be an executive and then seeing how labels are then run?
Life is hard, bro. Life is hard, bro. So it's only difficult with just because the thing is, there's no,
because it's like the curtain being pulled back.
That's all. It's no right or wrong way. It's just trying to learn how to work with what you know is there. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's not difficult. It's just, again, just learning how to work
and then you can do it differently.
You can do it differently. You know what I'm saying? Because you obviously, who's to say they don't. Like, the beauty is the game is different from, like, obviously when I was first coming up, they didn't have as many as independent imprints. You know what I'm saying? So you got the Empires of the world, the Spartas of the world, the E1s or Monarchs of the world. So you have the ability to kind of be able to help put out projects and get assistance here and there from those entities. I don't think it was as easy at back in the day. Like, you kind of had to know somebody to get that, that pull.
And shit, I mean, Khan's dropping another project tonight.
Yeah, that's big goals. That's big goals. Yeah, big goals.
Skis has like 4 tracks on that.
Yeah, he got 4. He got at least 3. I want to say at least on 3 of those.
That project, with Big Ghost was so good.
Yeah, no, we cooked that up pretty much right before the Canadian tour. We had that little break between Europe to Canada. We did that tape, and come out tonight. Like, obviously, we kind of had to clear the way.
It won't come. It's already been out. If you're listening,
if you're watching it now.
But the day this was recorded, it's coming out tonight.
Come out tonight. So those joints is dope, and then he's working on his follow-up projects. He got like 2 in the tuck. He got some incredible music that he's cooking. I think, honestly, I could be biased, but I think it's some of his best music he's recorded. Just because of the mind state he's in, the state he's in, and just different conversation pieces. Let's just say that. I think, like, from when you interviewed him, it's a different person. In my opinion, like, just in the window of time I've been around him,
I'm glad
he's in a positive space. He's much happier, and I think in his art.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It was a period where
that was a different a portrait of a time.
Yeah.
I don't think people should.
That's what I'm saying. Like, when you look at that, like, because I know obviously the story behind that, and I can't say it.
Of course,
you get what I'm saying, but I know certain things was weighing heavy on him. You get what I'm saying? But where he is now, it's a night and day. It's a night and day.
I'm really happy about that. Yeah.
Like, even just looking at like obviously you wasn't right next to him all the time on the tour, but just looking at the energy he was giving on the tour, he was in a good space. Like, he happy, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm excited for people to hear the follow-up projects and things that he has in the tuck. It's a bunch of dope stuff. Like, I don't want to say too much because and
you're just going with the flow.
I'm going with the flow, man.
But you do have a plan, and it's cool to now see the skeleton of it, because now I'm happy we got to have this conversation.
Yeah. No, like, the thing is, this ton, like, obviously, was it any, the only thing, my thing was, like, well, my story is just that I just think it's, like, my whole end purpose is anyone could do what I do. is just kind of sticking to it.
It's the execution.
It's
it's
the
not
execute.
Can you execute on the ideas?
100%. And that's where I live on. Because I think that's even with how I really got where I got with Khan. Because like he always has like, people in Buffalo be bullshitting. People da. So when I said like he just hit me with a lot of questions and shit. Like, yo, you can do this? And I will accomplish it. It would be like, oh shit, he can really do that. Like I would just say recording. Like he like, oh, you can record. Oh, and you know how to slightly mix. So it was like certain things where it was like, oh, okay, so you can like juggle multiple things.
And also say no if you don't know how to do something. Don't bullshit, motherfuckers, bro. Do what you say. Like, don't speak about things that you can't do.
And that's what a lot of people struggle with. Like I would say, at least on the come up of this, just be transparent. Transparency can get you a lot further than, trying to sell somebody a dream.
Yeah.
Because
for real,
you could, opportunity, doors will close quick as hell if they find out, like, this nigga's bullshitting.
Man, this will be out I can actually announce this on this podcast because it'll be out by the time that got announced, but I got asked to host Supply and Demand, the festival in New York this year. Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
And it was just from blind. I loved rap. I love rap. I remember hearing Reject too. Yeah. I love rap and I love comedy, and the blind faith makes it work out.
Yeah, no, but man, that's what like I think. Again, to go to your point, that is probably what keeps me going. Because it'd be like, man, listen, like I like the fact that it'd be like, yo, you shouldn't have been able to accomplish that, but you did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's just things of that nature that.
So this is my only, I didn't even prepare it, but since we're talking. So when you are at the Pusha T show in LA, does he remember you interviewing him?
San Fran, actually, but no.
Oh, LA show, LA. I mean, San Fran show, San Fran show.
But the crazy thing is, in the moment when I did do because I interviewed, he had this thing in New York City when he still had his own brand called Play Clothes. He did an event there, and then he had his album listening event later, and he seen me, which everybody know how I feel about Pusha. Pusha is like elite in my opinion, right? He seen me, was like, yo, you at everything I'm at. Mind you, this is before I'm even where I'm at now. But to answer your question, no, he didn't. I doubt it. But if I said something or explained, like if I didn't interact with him. I was kind of in the cut. I think I was kicking it with his manager a little bit more kind, and Push was kicking it. So it's love, though. Like I'm sure if I ever have a real conversation with him, I'm sure it won't be difficult. It's like, oh, yo, that's
and
you.
that also shows that you don't have to go up and be like,
yeah, no, like, but that ain't me. That's like Jawad. No, like that ain't me. That has never really been me. Like I'll kind of stay in the cut because it's cool. Like. We'll get our moment in rap at some point. You get what I mean?
If you believe shit'll work out, it will work out. That's what I don't want to rush anything.
I'm chill. Like that's like even when I tell people like let's say for instance you'll hit me up like, oh, can I get in a show? And it's a show that's 6 months from now, bro. Just worry about that the week of or the day of because the reality is like we don't know what's gonna change in between now and then. So it'll work itself out.
And also, you don't know how much this motherfucker goes through, so don't be hitting him up, asking him for crazy shit.
Especially, let's say, early. It's too early. Like, I kind of have in my mind who's going to hit me depending on where it is or so on and so forth. So I kind of like, all right, this person probably going to hit me up, da-da-da. So I kind of already have an internal tally.
Yeah.
But the worst thing you could do is hit me up as, like, month or 3 weeks before some shit going on, like, bruh, I don't even know if I'm gonna be there at that time. Like, what you mean? Like, why are you doing it?
Yeah, I don't see a week. Next week is as far as I.
This is what I'm saying. But I really take everything day by day. Like, obviously, me and Khan have our calls and it's things that's on the table
of
that
course,
we gotta figure out. But, bruh, shows, I'm damn sure only taking it day by day. Like, if we got a show Monday, I'll worry about it Sunday night, Saturday. You know what I'm saying? Like, but other than that, man, I ain't.
I know it's early, but congrats on Drumwork Fest. That's gonna be dope as hell.
That's a huge accomplishment. That's one of those. Like, and me and bro was working on it for a while, and O came on board. You know, he was like, man, we need Jeezy. So it was dope to see it all come together.
It was cool talking to him, and he's like, in a journal from 2018, I said I had Jeezy headlining a show. Yeah, my mom's flying out just to see Wale.
A word?
Yeah, my mom loves Wale more than anyone.
I've never met Wale, but Wale's like one of those to me. So I think it's dope.
Shout out Fab. Fab's gonna be there.
Fab's gonna be there.
All Drumwork.
All Drumwork, and you know, it might be some other people that show up, but if to answer, those are things that I'm happy about. Those are things that I'm excited about.
Like, salute for that.
Yeah,
that's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be dope. It's a big
August 13th, everybody.
August 13th, just in case. Please purchase your tickets. He'll have a link somewhere.
Yeah, I'll put a link under the episode.
Have a link. Your 2,000 supporters, please purchase those tickets.
It's 2080 now.
Hey, look at that. So, but no, like all jokes aside, man, that definitely would love people to show up. You know, maybe we can connect there and do something dope.
I'd love to do that. Yeah,
figure it out. Talk with bros, see what we could do.
Dope.
But no, it's gonna be a moment, man. It's gonna be something to remember, man. And
it's deserving.
It's deserving. Like, bro, Buffalo, man. Like we do it for Buffalo.
And it's crazy, like. Just how like Khan said that Boston was the first city outside that he felt love. Like when I came to Buffalo for the first time, it was the first non-local place to show. Like I have just a special connection to this place.
Nah, Buffalo's dope, man.
They showed me so much love.
Like it's because it's so like it's even crazy that I lived in New York City for 8 years, and it's funny to even see like. How we respect it now. You get what I'm saying? Because I used to get shit all the time going into the break room talking to those guys that lived in New York. Like, where you from, Buffalo? Oh, it ain't New York country, da-da-da. They talk all types of crazy. So it's just amazing to see where we at. You know what I'm saying? How respected we are and the stamp we are in the, I guess, game or just in general. Like, now we're actually looked at like, oh,
and that's from consistency and determination.
There you go. We got Wes, Benny, and Conway to thank for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, it doesn't help. Not that it doesn't help, but it's definitely the Bills is another part that played key into it. Like, so
But they were inspired by.
There you go. There you go. But. I could ramble all night, but that's what it was, man. And I'm definitely happy where I'm at. Like anybody around me could say I'm definitely a team player, making sure everybody get their just due. You know what I'm saying? Like
for real, you've only been nice and helpful to me, which thank you.
Yeah, man.
And we don't have to turn this into a fucking thank fest, but
no. It's love, but that's just because the thing is, I think why I always been that way is because I knew what I was trying to do when I first got involved in this, and I knew how many no's or how people try to block you out. So like I always wanted to be like that guy when I got into position or in a place that at least just to help people. Like, yo, all right, cool. I'm gonna give you that yes that you probably not even expecting to get.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Because like I know how it is. I know like no shade to you. Like, you know what I'm saying, like you pulling up to shows. Like I know how it is pulling up to shows, and the person that's possibly right next to the man. But you still get told no. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I've always, like, something about me is like, man, I got to make sure, you know what I'm saying, if I rock with you or, you know what I'm saying, it's sincere, I got to make sure that person is taken care of. So that's kind of always been my thing. Like, and I'm always willing to give cats an opportunity. So, yeah. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like,
man, I appreciate you doing this so much.
I know,
Thank you for sitting down.
You already know I don't do this, bro.
I know. I hope this wasn't as bad as you expect.
It's cool. Like, see, the thing is, I don't mind it. You know what I'm saying? Like, people heard my around me, like know like my story, so I don't mind talking about it. It's just like more on camera because it's like.
Yeah. But people, I hope and I know, will be inspired by this because a lot of people listen to this just to know how to. Do it just to see like.
But the one thing I will say about this game, man, it ain't no right or wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
I would just say stay like that. It's cliche.
Stay down.
Stay down till you come up, man.
And don't take anything personally.
No, don't take anything personally.
Anything personally.
It might be a no from me. It's just this situation might not be for you with me. But it don't mean it's no for whatever you got going on.
Yeah.
Keep pushing. Because it's going to be a yes. It's going to be a gang of no's, you know what I'm saying? But it's about how you take those no's. And
one yes can change everything. 99 no's don't mean shit. I'm
here because of the one yes.
Me too.
It's vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So it's like just stay at it. As long as you got a clear plan of what you want, that's all that matters, bro.
And on that note, we're done. You can follow him at
Payatten, Payatten Media on obviously IG. If you please don't send me any music.
Oh yeah, can I say that? Don't send me any music either.
But
motherfucker sending me beats to show Con. It's like, you think I'm gonna? What are you talking? You're stupid.
But I will. If you want to send me music, you can. But 9 times out of 10, it'd probably take a while for me to get to it.
Oh my god, yeah.
But yeah.
And go to Drumwork Fest.
And go to Drumwork Fest, August 13th. Please look out for
tickets at the below.
Tickets will be below. Please look out to the upcoming projects that we have in the works.
Oh, and check out the project with Big Ghost and Con dropping tonight.
Yep. Well, tonight, out now.
Out now, yeah.
But nah, yeah. I appreciate my boy Sam Buck. In case you didn't hear, I'm Chad Payatten Media at Gmail or whatever you want to call it.
Peace out, everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.